All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Moore. I'm the program manager for the Cleveland Humanities Collaborative based out of the Metro campus here. Welcome to our event on learning languages for career engagement. And we are thankful that you're here, and hopefully you will have some significant takeaways from the presentation today. Just as a reminder, if you are a student here and if you didn't sign our sign-in sheet over here, I would encourage you to do so before you leave. Also, just to give you an idea of the format, so our speaker today, he will be talking about his own experience. We'll be talking about the value of what this topic is all about. And then afterwards, we will open up the floor to the audience here to ask any questions of the speaker. And if you are interested, afterwards, our speaker has authored a book on this particular topic, so feel free to come to the front, and he will provide you with a signed copy of his book. So without further ado, I will read our guest speaker's bio, and then I will turn it over to our guest speaker. Today, you will be hearing from Mr. Youness El Fehdi, who can trace his story back to exploring the world all the way to the early 1990s when he first dreamt of coming over to America. While living in Morocco, he was fascinated with visiting the rest of the world, and so that is where his journey of learning multiple languages began. He currently can speak, write, and read in 5 different languages: Arabic, French, English, Italian, and Spanish. And he is also the author of the book, Dominate the World of Languages, which allows readers to learn tools to help them develop skills to learn languages in 6 months. So without further ado, Mr. Fehdi.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now, let me take you back. Thank you. Let me take you back to a small town in Morocco called Fez. That's where I was born and raised. The city of Fez was known of visitors from all over the world, and during my childhood, I was, a teenager with no connections, no way to travel abroad. But I always wanted to connect with those people. But the problem was that they did not speak my language, and I did not speak their language. So this situation created the catalyst behind my journey in learning all the various languages. And today I speak Spanish, Italian, French, Arabic, and barely English. Just joking. So I'm here to tell you now, like, if you want to future-proof your career, enhance your career, expand your network, and connect with people, learn a language, just today, not tomorrow, not just take that first step, and then your momentum would catch up with you. Now I have a question for you. Can anyone answer why language is a career enhancer?
Communication, being able to be understood by the other side without having an interpreter to go in between. You can communicate freely between yourself.
That's right. That's right.
Understand it.
Anyone else? Why language is a career enhancer?
I have a good example.
Okay.
I think it's enhancing to make more money.
Okay.
We need it.
That's right. It's part of it.
But when I first got out of school, I had a business degree and a Spanish degree. And I ended up using the Spanish degree a heck of a lot more than the business degree. But my first job was as an admin assistant for an international company, and I was able to negotiate a salary for $10,000 more a year than what they initially offered. So if you think back to 1995, $10,000 was even more than it is now. But that was very eye-opening for me, that I didn't think my Spanish would be the thing that would guarantee my success, but ultimately it's been my whole living has been my Spanish.
That's all right. I agree with that. Anyone else? Why language is a career enhancer?
I think it also shows that you're invested in them, that you have taken an interest, and that you've put yourself in. You're all in.
That's right. All right. Yeah, all the answers, yeah, they're all parts of why language is a career enhancer. And in the global economy right now, language is leverage, because multilingual professionals, they earn more, they get promoted faster, and they lead international teams. Why do you think that? Because language is more than communication. It's connection. And people like to hire people they connect with. And what creates that connection?
Knowing the language.
Yes, ma'am. You got it right there.
What's the goal of saying is that if you, to know a second language is to live a second life or to have a second soul, that you can meet more people. I mean, it literally doubles your life experience.
Yes.
So when you said like expanding your network, yes, but by 100%. So it really does. It gives you an opportunity to know people that you would otherwise never have met or been able to get to know
Yes,
in a
ma'am.
very profound way, not a superficial way, a deeper way.
Yes, totally agree. And also, imagine you're applying for a job. You have two candidates, same degree, same experience, same qualifications, but one of them speaks only English, and the other speaks English and Spanish. Who do you think get the offer?
The multilingual person,
Why is that?
because he's able to speak to more people. He understands the language and is showing that he's interested about the people and their culture. So it seems that he's more qualified.
Yeah, that's right. Anyone can add to that? I think I agree totally with you. And also, language shows adaptability. It shows leadership. It shows initiative. And it also shows that the person that has learned another language can go and willing to go the extra mile. And when employers interviewing you, they're looking for someone who can go the extra mile. And by you learning another language, you show that you got outside of the box and learn something outside of your comfort zone. So they know that that will be translated in other parts of the job. And like I said before, people like to hire people they connect with. In industries like hospitality, healthcare, business, sometimes business isn't just a bonus. It's a requirement. Anyone can add to that?
So open-mindedness?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. Definitely. Okay, what are the difficulties that face anyone when learning a new language? Or, yeah.
Like pronunciation or like accenting like the right letters and the right words.
Yes. Anyone can point out some difficulties facing people learning languages?
I think the biggest one is just fear. Getting over our own fear. Like, we know we're smart in our own language, we're comfortable in our own language, so a big stumbling block is getting over that fear of saying the wrong thing or saying something incorrectly or sounding silly. So I think that's a big stumbling block for a lot of people.
Yes. Anyone else can add to that?
Knowing the culture is very important too.
Excuse me?
knowing the culture is very important.
Oh, yes, definitely,
Important.
definitely.
Also memorizing. You have to memorize quite a few words to learn a language, so you have to start.
Yes, that's right. Anyone else? I'm just going to say from my personal experience for learning the 5 languages, I did not, like some languages, I did not like them before I started learning them. Like let's say French. So once I started learning it, the love and the passion and the motivation caught up with me. Because here's the motivation, the passion, and the love for languages are byproducts of the doing. Just take the first step, and you will find out if you really like that language. And concerning the difficulty of pronunciation, and I think we don't take it as failure if you pronounce a word incorrectly. And I do sometimes. Because when learning, sometimes I'd be speaking Italian and I ended up in the middle of my sentence throwing a couple of words in Spanish, or sometimes in English, a word that I never knew before, I just pronounce it wrong. And if you point out to me that it's wrong, that's the process, that's part of learning. Because failure is just a step to progress. It's not, learning a language is not a linear experience. There will be some mistakes at first, and then that's how you develop and improve your skills in the language. Also, there's some myths about learning languages. Anybody knows about any of them? Like people would be saying, I'm too old to learn a language. Have you heard that before? It's not. I don't agree with that because your mind is flexible. And I'm not just saying that because I read it somewhere. In my experience, I learned Spanish when I was 34 years old. And that was the fastest learning experience in terms of languages that I have. I learned Spanish faster than, let's say, French. I learned it when I was 10 years old. And all you gotta just, like I said, take the first step. That's the most important one. And you will find out. Any other myth, somebody about learning languages? Just like, I'm too old.
My family and I moved from Syria, and my grandma is always talking about how my accent is better than hers because I'm younger. So I think that's also one of the myths, is that like an accent is better when you learn it at a young age.
For that, it's kind of a gray area. Because when you learn language at a younger age, like, let's say, English, I think 6 years old is like the cutoff. Like some people that come to the United States and their kids are less than 6 years old, they end up not having an accent at all. But over that, it depends on it's not like a clear cut, But some people don't have an accent even when they move to the United States at 10, 12 years old, and some people get an accent when they move. But most likely, the 6 years old is the cutoff. So I think she's right to some extent because I learned English when I was, high school. I was like 17. So maybe if I learned it when I was 6, I probably would not have an accent, which I do have an accent now because I learned English at a later age. But learning language as a whole, regardless of the accent, age does not matter because we're flexible enough to learn anything at any age. All we got to just take the first step and be consistent about it. Any other myth?
I've heard people say that like you either have an ear for languages or you don't, right? That people say that, oh, well, you have an ear for languages or you just don't. That it's something, some people are just better at it than others.
What I can say for that, we all learned one language, which is our native language, right? Everybody learned that. So we were born with the physical and the mental capacity to learn a language. So I don't think anybody can say that it's just not good at learning a language, because since you learn the language already, your native tongue, you're able to do it. It's just about initiative and consistency. And some people might take them, might be slower at learning language than others, but in terms of learning language in general, I think everyone can learn a language. Anybody got opinion about that? Okay.
I must say that knowing music helps learning a language because you can hear the sound differences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I would talk about it in a little bit. And how about people say, I don't have time to learn a language? Like, I'm going to talk about my experience because I've been planning to learn another language, maybe German next, but for the last 3 years, but I always tell myself, I don't have time for it right now, which is just a myth, because how long do I spend on the internet? How long do I spend on anything else that I can? Because once you prioritize something, you make time for it. Because most of the important things in our life, we don't find time for it. We make time for it. That's the difference. So if you're motivated enough to learn a language, you will make time for it. And speaking about that, I'm going to move to the frameworks that I discussed in my book, Dominate the World of Languages. I talked about 3 frameworks. I talked about micro practice, which 15 minutes can be enough, and the real world immersion, and the other one, emotional connection. Okay, let's start with the emotional connection. So we can say, like, so anybody love a language here, a specific language? All right. Which one?
I speak French and Romanian.
French and Romanian. That helps to keep your momentum going. Anyone else?
Spanish
Spanish. Yeah.
and Portuguese. I love Portuguese.
Okay. Yeah, that part of the emotional connection. So you learn what you love, but it also can be you love what you learn. Like, I think somebody said it before. But like I said before, like French, I did not really love French before I learned it. But once I started learning it, that motivation and love caught up with me. Like I said before, love, passion, motivation, they're byproducts of the doing. So if you need the language, but you don't feel that you like it, just take that first step and you will find out. Because once you start learning something and get your momentum, then the passion, the love for that language will come after that. That's the first framework, emotional connection. How about the micro practice? Like micro practice, 15 minutes a day for language is enough, but I'm not saying it's enough, but I'm not saying you do 15 minutes a day, but that's the minimum you can do, and you can get away with it in learning language. The difference is consistency. You do that every day. You might miss a day here and there. It's better than putting like 5 hours for your learning one day, and then you go for 2 weeks and never come back to learning that. Because once you come back after 2 weeks, you're just going to repeat whatever on that 5 hours, and you forget everything that you learn. So it's all about consistency, matter more important than the length of time you put every day. So it's just about you doing it every day. I'm not saying sometimes you miss a day, you got a weekend, you have something going on, but you keep it at least 5 days a week. And you can do 15 minutes or more, but 15 minutes will get you through. And the third framework I discussed, real-world immersion. Answering your question about music. Now I'm going to talk about that. So music can be a language enhancer. So you listen to a song in the target language, and you find out the lyrics of that song. You print them out from the internet, and you read the lyrics. You can underline the words you don't understand and memorize them, and then repeat that song. You can sing with it. And that's, like she said about pronunciation, that will improve your pronunciation process, because you get your ear and your mind familiarized with the rhyme of the language, with the tone. And that's what I did in learning all my languages at first. Till I be listening to songs in the target language and just look up the words I don't understand and look them up in the dictionary. I didn't look them up in the internet, because back then there was no internet. So, and that's how you familiarize your ears, your mind for that specific language. And you can do that with movies too. You can watch a movie in the target language and make sure the subtitles in your own native language, let's say English. So while you're watching that movie, you already know what's going on in the movie because you read the subtitles. And at the same time, you're getting your brain, your mind, your ear accustomed and familiarized with that language. You even pick up nonverbal language for specific cultures, because people in different cultures, they speak differently. Like Italians, for example, they talk with their hands. And I do too. I don't know why, but I'm not Italian, but I speak with my hands a lot.
As you learn more languages, does it seem to be easier to learn more? Another?
Yeah, it does, because you already did it before, so you don't have that psychological block that people have.
You get confused, like, oh, you have to say the verb first here, but then this one you say the verb or the subject.
At first you do. Like, especially if you're thinking in a different language, but you're talking a different language.
Uh-huh.
You see what I mean? Like, this is a hard-working man. This is a sentence. Like in Arabic, they say, this is a man hardworking. So if you think in Arabic, you're going to speak it wrong sequence. So at first, you will be thinking your language while you're talking, but once you practice and you'll be watching, do the real-world immersion, like watching songs, movies, and you absorb that language you're learning, this problem like disappear. I used to have it before.
Which method do you find the most easy to learn? Which, the immersion, the 15-minute, whatever, is there an easier way to learn?
Well, if you do the three framework, the micro practice, 15 minutes a day, the easiest is to be consistent. To be consistent, and I think the easiest one right now is doing real conversations, like find native speakers and speak to them in their own language. Because even if they speak, let's say, if they speak English, but they're Hispanic, you can always ask them if they're your friend, or whenever you meet them, to speak in their native language. Because I never had anybody telling me like, oh, I can't talk to you in my native language. As soon as you say that, they get excited about it. Because when you speak someone's language, you speak to their heart, so they get excited, and that's how you practice. But even if you don't have any friends or anybody else that speak that language, you can go online and find chat rooms and just connect with people and keep talking to them on a daily basis. And that's how this is the easiest way to improve your language to a higher level.
Would you
you say this is a good tip for refugees or immigrants who come to this country and they're struggling to learn the language?
Yes.
These are the tips you would give them.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Okay. Now, anyone have a question for me about this? And you don't even have to move to a specific country to learn a language. Like, you don't have to move to Paris to learn French. I learned my languages, my French, my Italian in Morocco, but I was looking, native speakers, and when I was learning Italian, internet was still new, so I was going to the chat rooms, even if they were slow, but I was struggling to find people. But I did practice a lot on the internet as well with people.
How do you find this chat room? You Google
Yeah.
Italian
Yeah, there's some.
chat room?
Yes.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Like,
ma'am.
you know it's reliable, or, it's not some crazy website.
No, they are reliable, yeah. Okay. Any question about that?
I'll just add that some of my students learn from video games. So they're gaming with people all over the world. So they're practicing Spanish with somebody in Colombia because they're playing a video game.
Oh, okay.
Now let me tell you a story. Like last year in July, I was in Italy on vacation with my wife and kids, and we were trying to find Venice. We were driving around the outskirts of Venice, but then our GPS stopped working because we lost signal. And we got lost in a small village. So I was driving around for about 30 minutes before we found a small coffee shop. There was a couple of people sitting over there, and I got out of my car, walked towards them. I decided to ask them if they speak English. That was a mistake on my part. So as soon as I said that, one of them said, I speak a little, but the energy was not good. It was a negative energy around because they weren't comfortable. And then I was talking to myself, why I did not approach them in Italian since I speak Italian. But back then, last year, I had not spoken Italian for years, so I thought maybe I'd be more comfortable speaking in English. But that was wrong on my part. I was thinking about myself, but I'm not thinking about them. So as soon as I switched to Italian with them, the energy shifted instantly, and the respect was built, and they started talking to me, laughing, and asking me, telling me, like, welcome to Italy and all that. So, like I said before, when you speak someone's language, you speak to their heart. The energy shifts. That's what creates the connection. That's why I said language is a very important tool for connection. And when you're speaking someone's language, you're not just translating words. You're translating respect. And those are the lessons I learned from that experience. So if you know just a little bit of that language and you're in a different country, just start with it. It will make your experience a lot easier than just trying to get them to talk your language. Now, let's talk about networking and language. They say your network is your net worth. And what expands both of them? Language. Think about LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. The internet is global, and your audience is global. Therefore, your opportunities are global. But when you only speak one language, you only access a fraction of that. So speaking another language expand your access to this global community we're living in right now because of the internet and AI and all that. So if you want to study abroad, lead international teams, or launch a startup with global reach, learning a language is your bridge. It's the bridge to all that. Any question about networking and language? Anybody can add anything about that? Nothing? All right, we can move on to another part here. If you can get anything from this conversation, don't wait to learn a language when you need it. Because when you need it, you're going to learn it right now. So when the opportunity comes, you'll be ready. Because preparation is the most important thing when it comes to opportunities. So you get ready right now. Once the opportunity comes, you'll be ready.
I had a question. I remember reading somebody had posted on LinkedIn that now because you can get languages on your phone, then you don't need to learn languages because it translates for you immediately. So, like say you were in Italy and your phone was working, you could translate and talk or show the person the language. So do you need to learn the language? Or you need to learn culture more than language? That it was a person's opinion.
Yeah, it helps when you're translating through a cell phone, but it's not going to get you through the cultural connection.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to build the respect that you get when you speak somebody else's language. And you're not going to speak to their hearts through a cell phone.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Because
Yeah.
the students here, when they are in the ESL class, then sometimes they come to the tutoring. I work in tutoring, and then they show us she shows me, she speaks in Ukrainian in the phone, and then she shows me the answer in English.
Yes.
So, I mean, that way it's easier, but you're saying, yeah, then you don't connect.
Yeah, I mean, it works, but
Yeah.
to an extent.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. So, speaking about learning a language before you need it, here's the action plan that I discussed in the book, Dominate the World of Languages. First, pick a language that excites you, or even it don't excite you, just take that first step. You can take notes of that. And set a 6 months goal, like they say, conversational fluency. And that's not the ultimate goal, but a 6 months goal, because language is a system, it's not a goal. Language is a lifelong experience. So you can do the 6 months as a target, and then after the 6 months, you do another 6 months for intermediate level of fluency, and then you go and you keep going. You can use apps, podcasts, real-world conversations. That's the third one. YouTube is good too. You have so many YouTube videos that can help you. Go back to the micro practice. The most important thing is to be consistent, to do it every day.
What do you think about learning? Is it better to learn one language at a time, or multiple languages at once?
For my experience, I think one language at a time is better, especially if the languages are similar. Because if you learn like Italian and Spanish at the same time, you'll be confused because there's some words that's close, and you will end up speaking some words in Italian, and while you're thinking, you're speaking Spanish. So once you get to that conversation of fluency at least, then you can start another one.
For me, it's French and Russian.
That's the difference. Yeah, that'll be good. Any other questions on that?
When you say learn a language, I'm sorry I came in late, you mean speaking and writing as well, or just conversation?
Conversation, probably the first step, the first 6 months.
Okay.
And then you learn the grammar and all, you know.
That's so much work.
Yeah. I mean, 15 minutes a day would be enough.
Okay.
You know, it's not like you're going to devote a long time for it. And the last step is track your progress. Track your progress and always make sure you celebrate small wins. Why is that? Because when you celebrate small wins, you keep your momentum going. And you get energized when you celebrate every small win along the way. And that's what helps you stay consistent. And you go long ways with the language. You have to celebrate the small wins. They're very important.
So what do you mean when you say small wins?
Like the number of vocabulary words you learned,
Okay.
a grammar rule that you learned, the ability to form a full sentence, all of that.
Yeah, I'll just add to that too, because I feel like my students are always focusing, I think I'm loud enough. Can you guys hear me?
Dan,
You can hear
Are
me.
you catching people?
I'm
I just
loud.
wanted to make sure. It's being recorded, so I just
Okay,
wanted
sorry.
to make sure.
Just to add that a lot of times students are focusing on what they don't know. Because there's so much you don't know. But it's important to look at how far you've come. You know, you came here not knowing the ABCs. You came here not knowing how to count, and in a week you're doing that. That's amazing. So I just agree wholeheartedly with what you say in your book, especially about celebrating the small victories, because they're all big victories, really. The fact that you can learn to do this as a human being, your brain can do this so quickly, it's really a miracle.
Thanks. All right. And now let's talk. What language do you want to learn?
Spanish.
Spanish. So, what's your reason behind learning Spanish?
Because a lot of job openings now want people to be bilingual, be able to speak English and Spanish.
That's right. And what's holding you back? Are you learning it?
I am learning it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's well, good.
Yeah.
Good for you. Anyone else? What language you want to learn? French. Okay. What's the reasoning behind it?
I like French culture.
That's a good reason. Okay. Anyone?
German.
German. What's your?
I want to learn German and Spanish.
Okay. And your reasons behind that?
So my cultural background is from Germany. Like my parents and my grandparents are from German on my father's side, and I work in a very diverse community, and I kind of want to learn like the Spanish to be able to connect more with like customers and like different opportunities for them. So it's something I'm kind of interested in right now.
So what's holding you back?
Honestly, nothing. So, I mean, maybe myself, honestly. I want to know, like, do we have the opportunity here to, like, start classes to learn the different languages?
Some of them, maybe.
At Tri-C?
Yes.
Yeah, we have German. Tracy has Spanish, French, German, Russian.
Yeah.
Italian.
So
Yes, we have loads of languages here, more than I think most community colleges. We do have a lot. You talk.
yeah, just take the first step, and believe me, after you start learning those languages, you're gonna get motivated. And if you make mistakes, it's normal because those are steps to success. You make, pronunciation mistake, grammatical mistakes. It's all normal in the learning process. That's when I was learning any other language, like I was making so many mistakes, and people correct me, and then you correct it and you move on. So the more you do that, the more you improve your language. Just take the first step.
I worked part-time as a bank teller in Seven Hills, and when customers would come in, then I would ask them, what do you say in your native language for hello or something? So I learned, but I just learned to say hello in like Korean and Eastern European languages, but that's it. I didn't go further. But that was enough to make them comfortable and sort of smile and, then they're happy that you've taken the trouble to even learn one word or 2 words. So that was like a first step, but I didn't go further.
That's good. Great. Okay. Any questions for me?
When you talk about immersion, talk a little bit more about that, because usually they're talking about going to a country that speaks the language you want to learn to be totally immersed in. That's not in my budget.
Yeah, you don't have to go to a native country that speaks that language.
Okay.
Like I said, you can use music, movies, and you can go online and find chat rooms, and you talk to people in the target language that you need to learn, and that's replaced the need to go to another country, because not everybody can just go somewhere else just to learn a language.
Right.
I did not learn French, Italian in France and in Italy. I learned them in Morocco.
Okay.
So you can just learn it without having to go somewhere else.
Thank you.
I'll also just add, in Cleveland, there's a lot of native Spanish speakers in Cleveland. And there are, if you Google just meetup groups, like MEETUP, there are lots of groups that get together and practice French. There are French meetup groups, there are Spanish meetup groups. I'm sure you can find one for any language. My husband went to a German one because he loves German. So if you want that personal conversation practice, meetup groups are fantastic.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I just want to, is this working? Yeah.
I think so.
I just want to add, if you have a Cuyahoga County Public Library library card, if you're a member, they have multiple language apps that you can access for free. I think one is called Mango. But also they have, you can access this database of movies and TV shows called Canopy with a K. And they have a phenomenal international film library on that website. And so if, for example, you want to watch a movie in Spanish or French, I watch a lot of French films, actually. I watch them with the subtitles on because I don't know those languages, but you could probably watch them without the subtitles on and just kind of follow along and see what you can pick up, and then you're hearing how they pronounce things.
Great, thank you. Tri-C also has Canopy, but I don't know if they have the different languages.
You have to make a request to see a movie and then approve it properly. So
All right. Last thing I want to say, that college is not about degrees. It's about decisions. And one of the most important decisions you can make is to enroll in a foreign language course. Not because it's easy, but because it's transformative. Anybody got me in this? And let this be the moment you choose to go global. And let this be the moment you choose to be more than average. Because once you speak another language, you do not change how the world sees you. You change how you see the world. And
What was that you just said? You don't change?
you don't change how the world sees you. You change how you see the world. Yes, it gives you perspective. It's broaden your view to the world, because once you learn other languages and you connect with other cultures, you see the world from a different perspective. That's language. So now, go ahead and dominate those languages starting today. Thank you.
One question. I have 2 grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm from India, so English was my first language, but I wanted to teach them and Indian language. So they say with kids, they can learn up to 5 languages till they are 5 years old or something. Have you heard that?
I heard that. I think
But
it's
whether
possible.
it's true, yeah,
Yeah.
it seems hard to do. And I know by playing the music, sometimes they pick it up. But I don't know, with kids, how it's only by speaking that they pick up, really, right? For children,
Yes.
little children.
Yeah, listening, like
Listening.
real world immersion, yeah, music, and yeah, by listening, they pick up so many words. Because I have 2 kids, right?
Okay, so
So,
how many languages are they
yeah.
learning?
The English and the Moroccan.
Okay.
It's kind of a dialect similar to Arabic, but sometimes I'll be speaking in Moroccan with my wife. We don't teach them, but they pick it up.
Okay,
Yeah. So when they're exposed to a language, they
Yeah.
pick it up.
okay, thank you.
All right.
So thank you again. And now we will open it up for some more official questions. So if you do have a question, I encourage you to raise your hand so that I can get to you in time. But any questions about anything that the presenter shared, any questions about his book, any questions about his learning experiences?
I have another question. So, in the flyers that were not passed around, that were posted here, it said that your book says that we can learn a language in 6 months. Now, how much of a language are we learning in 6 months? Is it enough to be conversational?
Conversation, that's the first step. Conversation language, and then you go to the intermediate level, and then you go higher, because language goes by steps, and you can't learn a whole language in 6 months, but you do learn the most important step, which is conversation and fluency.
So does your book talk anything about the next levels or just the first 6 months?
My book is mainly for the motivation and taking the first steps. But when it goes to the intermediate level and the linguistic jargon and the technicalities, what I'm doing, I'm igniting the fire in you to start learning that language and get to a level, and then you can go, after that, you can go to the technicalities and you go higher. But my main purpose of the book is to motivate you and make you take that first step, which is the most important thing in any learning experience.
Thank you.
I have a question, not so much about languages, but I would like to know what is the situation of the French language in Morocco? Is it still taught in school? How much do people
Oh yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. Like in Morocco, there's a,
It was a French colony?
yeah, it was liberated back 1960. Yeah, so in Morocco, there's a Moroccan dialect. It's not really written, but it's spoken. That's what all the Moroccans do. And then once you go to school, the 3rd grade, you start learning Arabic and French. But Arabic earlier than that, the 1st grade, you start learning Arabic, and then French, the 3rd grade. And so it's earlier than any other language. Like English is offered when you go to high school. It's, you pick either English, German, or Spanish. In my case, I chose English. And since Morocco was colonized by France for like about 30 years, hit and miss, the administrative document, everything, you will find them in French. Like your ID, you find it one side in French and the other side in Arabic. So French is very popular in Morocco. And most of the administrations will be even speaking in French. So we can call it bilingual, not really like Canada, but there is a high level of bilingualism in Morocco when it comes to French and to French. So, yeah, so most of Moroccans speak French.
professionally, or it's just for administrative business purposes, or do people switch back and forth?
This conversation, it was, I'm going to say the funny thing, like, most people speak French, they think it's fancy. So whenever they try to be fancy, they speak French.
I have a question about, for like reading and writing languages, like some languages like Arabic or Mandarin have very different scripts in English. Do you have any advice for learning how to read or write in those like very different languages?
Now, for Arabic, like when we write in Arabic, we don't write from left to right like English. We write from right to left. Yeah, from right to left. So it's different. I know it's going to be a little harder at first to learn it, especially if you're a native English speaker. Same way for me when I learned French. French is the same way like English. So it's all, you got to learn the alphabet as the first step. The alphabet. And you just like familiarize your ear, your mind with the language at first. And when you learn all the alphabet, then there are some ways that teach you how to put them together. And you just put together a sentence at first, or a word, and just memorize it, and you go step by step. It's going to be a little harder than learning a language that's right from right to left, but you just start like step by step. Start with the alphabet first, and then one word, and then a sentence, and you go from there. And once you get to higher steps, it'll get easier for you. Because I know a lot of people from here, because we had a teacher in Morocco that was from Texas, American, and he was speaking Arabic and Moroccan like really good. But he was really involved in real immersion. He was always with people and practicing. And he was saying wrong words sometimes, and we help him, we correct it. But his attitude was he was receptive to all the corrections. That's what makes him a very proficient speaker.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, if there are no further questions, just a few updates as far as where things will be. So if you would like a copy of Mr. Fehdi's book on your way out, please come down. He is available to also sign a copy for you. And if you'd like to have some further discussion with him, then he will be available here at the table. Also, please stop by on your way out our table, the Cleveland Humanities Collaborative. We have some flyers pertaining to some other events that we have scheduled for the fall semester. I also want to give you an update on part of the reason why we are having this event today. We work with Case Western Reserve University. And if you are interested, this is particularly for the students, if you're interested in either majoring or double majoring or even minoring in one of the languages that we discussed today, they have options for that over there. So all of the languages that were discussed, at least most of them, they have programs at their institution. So if you want to pursue that further, again, I would encourage you to stop by our table where you can get some more information about the CHC, learn more about Case Western Reserve, and then we can talk to you about if that's something that you would like to do. Lastly, before you leave out, again, we still have plenty of refreshments on the tables outside, so I encourage you to help yourself with whatever is available for you. Can we give Mr. Fehdi another round of applause for joining us today?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is he going to autograph the book?
Yes.
All right.
Also, for the students who came in, if you could sign in right here on our clipboard, your
Thank you so much for coming.
name and student number on your way out. That would be appreciated.